In today's clip, I'm gonna mouth off on Mr. Rat's potential run for the governor of Texas. Oh yeah, talking to you, Matthew McConaughey. Hey, XenPuck here. So I'm a Texan now, and never prior to becoming a Texan did I realize how big Matthew McConaughey is in this state. I mean, his home state. I mean, it could just be where I am in Texas, but I don't think so. So here's my example, okay? When I go to a gift shop, I can easily find multiple coasters or other types of souvenirs with his famous line of, oh rat, on it. I mean, I gotta say, I love the line, and I love his delivery of the line. And it definitely looks like it'd make a fantastic campaign slogan, because apparently Matty McC wants to run for the governor of Texas. Oh boy. Another celebrity who wants to run for president. I mean governor. But really, I mean, is it really that much of a stretch if I said president? But I digress. Still, today, I'll give you a few reasons on why I think this is a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Despite the fact that I like the guy just fine in his chillaxing personality mode, okay? And stay at the end, and I'll give you a reason why I think it's a great idea. So reason number one, lack of any actual qualifications of any kind. I mean, he's an actor. Doesn't that by itself disqualify him, right? Just because he seems like a cool guy doesn't mean that he'd be effective as a leader. I mean, that is what a high-level politician is, in essence, right? A leader. So what the heck has Matthew McConaughey ever led in his entire life? Well, he's not even Batfleck, right? Who could at least, you know, we could say, oh, that guy, he's the writer, director, producer of the same movies. McConaughey is just primarily an actor, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's a man who plays his part. And that's great, okay? And he can even occasionally be a great actor, right? But none of this gives me a sense that he can lead. I mean, maybe if he had more producer credits in the movies that he's involved with, right? I don't know, maybe you guys know better, right? Like, what would be a leadership role in the Hollywood movie-making industry? I'm thinking producer, but it's definitely not rom-com actors, right? I think that's where he gets most of his fame from, right? For being, you know, a handsome, cool dude. Not a leader, though. Okay. Reason number two, his entry into the field again reduces the democratic process to a popularity contest. I get it, he's a viable candidate because of the name recognition, but let's just break it down a little, okay? First of all, he has no path on the Republican side of the ticket because he's a centrist. Again, I actually think that type of political view is really sorely missed this day and age, so it's really awesome. I'm a huge fan. I'd like to think that most people, or most voters, are actually centrists, in the general election anyway. But unfortunately, we're in a country with a clear two-party system, and he needs to be a candidate for either the Republican or the Democrats first, and there lies the catch-22 of him holding centrist views, right? I don't think he can appeal to the hardcore religious rural voters enough to get on the Republican ticket at all. So then the question is, could he appeal to the left while maintaining some of his centrist leanings, right? To be honest, that would still make me sad if he was picked by the Democrats, or vice versa. Maybe he picks the Democrats, right? Because it would just mean that both parties now would have succumbed to the realization that political contests aren't about issues or solutions at all, but simply about who can win a popularity contest, aka name recognition contest. And that's a shame, right? Because we used to get our political leaders, governors, presidents from highly educated professions like lawyers. Now, apparently, we just plug in the only respected profession of the masses, which are celebrities, okay? Not a knock on Matty McC himself, right? But the trend itself, to me, it's extremely unsettling, okay? Reason number 3. Finally, I'd also like to imagine a scenario where he does get into the governor's house. Okay, then what? He's going to use his roguish charm to win over the highly partisan style of politics in the Texas State House? I mean, do I really think Matthew McConaughey's fan base is what makes up that particular legislative body? Last time I checked, old white dudes are not the primary viewers of rom-coms. But again, I could be wrong, right? Matthew McConaughey has made plenty of other movies. Maybe they're huge fans of Tropic Thunder or Interstellar. I mean, am I really betting that Matthew McConaughey is the new Reagan? Let's go back a step further. Do I even think Reagan would succeed in this partisan environment anymore? I think that's a questionable yes at best. So I'm very curious about what McConaughey's negotiating style would be when he no longer has a script that tells him what to do, okay, or just pointing him in the general direction, right? How does he, what does he offer for concessions? Discounts on Lincolns, perhaps? Or maybe some of that celebrity schmoozing with the Hollywood set? I mean, it could be that I'm just underestimating the power of Hollywood celebrities and how they would melt the cold hearts of Texas ranch hands and oilmen. Oh, and I promise you guys what a pro McConaughey would look like, right? So here it goes, right? It's not all bad news. Is he the worst candidate that I can think of? Nah, he's not, okay? I love freedom, and I'm pretty sure McConaughey's worst case, if he was elected, at least what would happen that would be good for me in terms of freedom for Texan residents is that that whole recreational pot issue would be shoot in right away. I mean, come on. It's a tough job, okay? I'm sure he realizes that. Everybody wants the power that comes with being an executive of, a large tract of land, maybe the whole country someday. But nobody remembers that all it'll do is work you to death and make half the state or country hate you. But honestly, despite my reservations, maybe I should be voting for the dude because, not because I'm so into pot, but because I like choices, right? And Texas can definitely use some catching up to do with the rest of the country on that issue. And just personally speaking, I'm sure, McConaughey looks like the kind of guy who needs to smoke a bud after a long day of work anyway. And if he is ever the governor of Texas, oh my God, he might have to smoke more than once a day. Okay. So what do you guys think? Will Mr. Alright make the Lone Star Republic alright again? Comment, like, subscribe, and some other verb that I've forgotten below. Cheers.